Hi, it's Splinterverse. Welcome to another episode of D&D New Releases, the show where we talk about new third-party products for Dungeons & Dragons from both Dungeon Masters Guild and DriveThruRPG. We cover 20 new titles from each of those sites. This is not a review show, as we have not looked at any of these products in full, so please venture into them at your own discretion. We do include alphabetical links to all of the titles shown in this video in the video description. So if you want to help the channel, please use those links to purchase these titles. You can also support by purchasing one of our books, two of which are shown on screen right now, and those are also linked in our video description. Please subscribe and share the video as well. It helps the channel and all of the creators in today's episode. This week's episode focuses on titles released between July 30th and August 5th, 2021. Please stay tuned all the way to the end because we've got things for 5th edition, Pathfinder, OSR, Morkboard, you name it, it's in here, all kinds of good stuff, so make sure you watch the whole thing. First up, we have Character Options Paladins by Marshall Bala. It's for Pathfinder 1st edition from Rusted Iron Games. It's $2.99 at 10 pages. It says the Character Options series brings you fresh new options for a single character class, and in this installment they're focusing on the Paladin. They start out with 5 new archetypes to use for your Paladin characters, plus 3 new oaths for Oathbound Paladins. And there's a new feat, spell, and a magic weapon ability. So let's take a look inside. Got a nice, clean Paizo style layout, which is good. And some cool artwork for the Paladins here. So for the Masked Crusader, it says some paladins are trained to fight corruption and evil in a more influential way than most. Rather than projecting auras and making their presence known, the Masked Crusaders maintain a public face while concealing their true identity when they lead their crusade. So that's a cool angle they've got going on. It says a Masked Crusader gains bluff, disguise, intimidate, stealth, and perform as class skills, but loses handle, animal, and ride. And then down here it says the Preserver, sworn to protect Mother Nature itself, these paladins take to the ways of nature and druidic magic, often becoming servants and healers of the natural world around them. Cool. So getting kind of a little bit of a 5th edition feel with these new oaths and things, but still within the Pathfinder realm, which is cool. So if you're looking for something for Pathfinder, look for Character Options in the video description and click that link. Next we have Conqueror, a system-neutral battle add-on by Jacob Wise, and it's from Double Proficiency at $9.99 for 32 pages. It's intended to expand on your game's choice of large-scale battle mechanics and add flavor to them. It's meant to work with your game without replacing any of its systems. So it's a simple set of rules to play them out smoothly without stalling the game. You can describe the events on the battlefield using this. So they've got really cool pictures. Every time Double Proficiency releases, they have some nice pictures for you to look at in their catalog page, and you can see kind of how it works with any system because it just is kind of streamlined, which I like. So it says Conqueror's main meat isn't big clashes of soldiers taking the spotlight away from the players. On the contrary, the guidance and rules in this booklet are tailored specifically to let the player characters and major NPCs shine, changing the outcome of battle through their decisions. It has the battle theater and armies, the battle events, major characters, and grand strategy. You can use them right during the game. Follow the simple guidelines to create armies, heroes, and epic strategies on the fly during your game, thanks to decision dice or Game Master Fiat to choose what best fits your ongoing game. So you can roll for it, it sounds like, or just choose what you want. So got tips for mixing Conqueror with any RPG combat system, rules for algorithmic decision making, 6 battle theaters, rules for hiring and maintaining armies, 6 formations for battle units, rules for flanking, casualties, and routing, battle event system, allowing you to turn the tides of battle, rules and statistics for NPC heroes and troopers, 6 battle cards, and an empty unit sheet. So cool. This is not the first time we've looked at one of double proficiency system neutral stuff, and it looks really fun. Let's look inside. They always have nice artwork as well. So you can see it's clean, easy to read. Going into the rules here. So let's read about the decision roll. So use a decision roll to determine what stances and moves the foe is using. There are two variants. You can roll 1d6 for a random decision, or you can, for a median decision, roll 3d6 and then discard the highest and lowest. So they're giving you two options there, which is nice. So it says you don't need to track initiative. You can treat whichever army in its squads is moving first. I like that they bold text that's like the key things you need to read, so you can kind of skim it as opposed to reading everything. Another nice strategy they have. So here's some objectives. You can see they've got kind of a description with some bullet points of what's going to happen, and then the offense wins or the defense wins. So I'm liking this if you're looking for a maybe streamlined, easy way to integrate massive battles into your campaign without, needing an algebraic calculator or some kind of complicated tool to make it work, right? This seems pretty easy to implement. It says if your game has guidelines for hiring hench people or mercenaries and their upkeep, use those as the base cost of hiring and maintaining a trooper and their gear. If it doesn't, create a character with gear and equipment to use it. That is your trooper template, and 10% of their gear cost adds to their monthly wage. Afterward, check your game setting for any information regarding how much a mercenary is paid, if available, or pick a monthly wage that sounds right to you. A good rule of thumb is at least 25% of how much reward your character would receive for an easy quest. So, nice, simple advice. And it's cool how they're just referring to the other system, whatever system you're laying this on top of, rather than trying to make a bunch of additional rules you got to pile on top. It says, first look at your system, because it may already cover this, right? No need to reinvent the wheel. So, very cool. Check it out. It's under Conqueror in the links below. Next we have Dawn of the Necromancer by John Harmston. It's for 5th edition from Team Bonsai, and it's $25 for 230 pages, so quite a lot of pages there. It's a campaign that pits your PCs against a necromancer of unimaginable power. You get epic scope. Players begin at the first level and can advance all the way to the 20th before the final showdown. It's adaptable, can drop into your campaign or use the high fantasy setting of Argamir, which is a medieval European style world that worships the gods of the Greek pantheon. Sprawling sandbox style adventure with the players traveling between a cosmopolitan city, memorable towns, an ancient necropolis, and other dark destinations. Includes something for everyone: new magic items, nightmarish monsters, challenging puzzles, detailed locations, NPCs, etc. Flexible. Each of the 40 major encounters and countless adventure hooks can be easily lifted out and used as one-shots. That's nice. And all the encounters include advice on how to adjust the difficulty. Very helpful. Not all books with encounters do that. And then here's some snippets from the adventure. It says, in Ashgate, capital punishment is carried out by the Royal Torpedo, a Medusa, who petrifies the convicted and then oversees their body being smashed to pieces by those who were wronged as they wield the ceremonial hammer of justice. So that's really flavorful. Haven't seen, a Medusa or Gorgon used in that fashion, but I like it. And some of this stuff, especially since they worship the Greek gods, you could apply this to Theros campaigns. So there's probably some stuff in here that you could get for that as well. So Cobb's boots, a wondrous item, uncommon. While wearing these boots, you can flee from danger in a speedy manner known derisively as Cobb's Traverse. When moving away from an attacking opponent, your speed is doubled regardless of armor or encumbrance, and you can jump twice the normal distance if it is not further than your movement would allow. When attempting a saving throw against a fear effect, you suffer a -2 penalty. So very cool. And there's even a little video down here. And it says we create a separate product that has all of the digital assets. So there's maps, handouts, heraldry, magic items and stuff. It'd be cool if there was like a bundle for that. So if you're watching Team Bonsai or John Harmston, maybe think about having a bundle for that, so people can just get both. But yeah, I would encourage you to come check out the video they have, look through it. Let's look inside. Okay, so nice layout here. This is part 1, levels 1 to 4. Got some very nice art and layout. So they've spent some time on this for sure. We've got a map with locations here of Darwich. It says lumberjacks harvest the nearby forest and haul the logs to a half-dozen sawmills on the edge of town. Some of the lumber is processed and shipped off by wagon caravan, while the rest of the logs are chained together and hauled down the river by oxen to distant destinations. The wool industry is controlled by a powerful weavers guild. Flocks of sheep graze on the deforested land and are regularly shorn by shepherds before the wool is transported to the weavers district in town, where it is carded, spun, woven, and dyed. So some detail on the industry, which I always appreciate. You never know when your characters, your players are going to need to hear some of that. Yeah, very cool. I like this. Yeah, so if you're looking for a new campaign or even something to supplement your Theros or other fantasy, there's 230 pages of stuff, so probably something in here that you can use. And they've got a quick preview as well. Just wanted to see if there's anything different in that. Alright, well, look for it in the video links. Donna the Necromancer. Next we have Eldritch Gambit. It's from Planarian, $5. Authors include Planarian and Jake Eldritch. It says Eldritch Gambit is a fantasy role-playing game toolkit. Players step into the role of adventurers struggling against powerful forces, making difficult choices, and those of powerful magic artifacts. To those running the game, it is a set of building blocks rather than a themed playset. Use a favorite fictional setting or just work together to create the adventures you want. It's got basic rules, how to create characters, run scenes, handle items and other resources, work magic, design your adventure setting, and optional supplements. So this, it says it's OSR compatible, but it's also its own system, so you can use it with OSR or on its own. I think that's why it has like the character creation and stuff. So it says collaborative settings, brainstorm with your game group to build the setting you really want, or stick with the traditional one. Drama support, enjoy scenes that focus on social actions, chases, stealth, non-combat magic, and the benefits of fellowship with your allies. You've got engaging combat, freeform characters where you decide their motive. Freeform experience, decide for yourself what earns your character their power. Challenge yourself with a personal quest or heed the temptations of a powerful artifact. That's interesting. So that's, more player driven. So if you're looking for something, and I mean, you could maybe even just take a part of this and incorporate it into 5th edition or OSR or whatever. Gambits push your luck after success or failure to change fate with gambits. You choose when to place yourself at the mercy of your dice. I like that too, because sometimes you're kind of in 5th edition and OSR and other things, you're kind of forced to use the dice at certain times. So I'd be interested to see how this game lets you decide when to use the dice and when not to. They've got the artifacts, room to grow. The hacking tolerance of this rule set means there's space for your additions. Combatants pass their next turns to each other or their target, so your chance to shine can come at any time. And it says it's a playtest version, so they're looking for feedback, which is nice. It's 81 pages for $5, so that's quite a lot of pages for the money, and that's probably because they're looking for feedback. So I'm guessing it's going to be more expensive when the playtest version is done. So yeah, nice layout they've got going on here. They've got an example of play, which is nice. Characters, overview, level. So you get to see pretty much all the pages, because there's 81 pages here in the preview. So really no reason not to look through this and see if it strikes your fancy here. But I'm liking the layout. It's got that OSR feel. It's clean, easy to read. A lot of information on a lot of different things. So it says brief rundown of the steps to create a character. So level, the overall power and experience of your character. And then concept, choose a name, class, quest, origin, template, and description. Attributes, set your starting abilities, and they're using a lot of the same ones. It looks like strength, dexterity, intelligence, agility, charisma, and endurance. Not exactly the same ones, but close. Defenses, set willpower, agility, factor, and hit points. Skills, choose some specific skills, and then gear. So it's kind of similar structure, but I'm sure there's some deviations as you read through here. Yeah, whole section on the attributes and gear. Sample character. I like that they're including examples, information on advancement, staging. Yeah, I mean, even if you get just, let's say you like this montage concept. So it says transitions between more climatic events. Montages are lengthy periods of time in the story condensed into brief moments of play. Travel, crafting, healing are handled this way. The imp allows each player one montage during the scene, then moves along to the next player or scene. This helps with pacing and avoids spending entire sessions agonizing over minutia. So I always like that too, when you can, fast forward, so to speak. So you could even just take this montages concept out and use it in OSR or 5th edition. So yeah, I definitely should come look at this. Eldritch Gambit in the links. You can see the whole book. They're looking for feedback. Why not take a look, especially with that full preview. Next we have Entromancy, the Orichite Age Omnibus by M.S. Farzan and Nightpath Publishing. It is available as a PDF for $4.99 or a softcover color book for $14.99 or both for $14.99. So 84 pages, and of course you need the original Entromancy cyberpunk fantasy RPG base game. But what jumped out at me about this, because we've covered that game before, is because it's 5th edition compatible, so it's based kind of on that rule set, is that this one, it's an episodic expansion series, but it's got brand new modules that bring players from the cybertech dominated future to a magic rich past with new stories, character options, gear, cybernetics, adversaries, and encounters. So it gives you kind of that more traditional fantasy setting a little bit. I mean, it's still got some cybernetics, but it's going to kind of meld in with the traditional fantasy. So if you've been playing Entromancy, or you're interested in kind of seeing that side of it, this now offers that. Instead of it just being purely cyberpunk, they're going to have some of the traditional fantasy, which is very nice. So I applaud that, and I also like when books have both physical and digital. It's really fun. There aren't a lot of titles that do that, so definitely wanted to call it out this week. So look for Entromancy in the links below and give it a click. Alright, next we have The Fall of Mith, Treason from Tim P. GMing, or Timothy Peterson. This one has a lot of options. For $4.99 you can get the PDF, or you can go $19.99 for the softcover, or $29.99 for the hardcover, and they have both premium and standard for the color, so you can get an even cheaper version of the book with less color there, color quality I should say, not less color. And then there's combos you can get that give you various discounts. But the book is 53 pages, and it's the fourth in a series of adventures that will be turned into the entirety of the Fall of Mith campaign, which is going to be made up of 6 smaller adventures released as one-shots. So, and it says anyone who owns all of the one-shots will be able to get a PDF copy of the full campaign when it's released. So, building towards something here. This is part 4, and if you come to this page, I'm sure you can find the other ones at the bottom. It says Treason is a 2 to 3 session adventure taking place after 𝙏𝙞𝙩𝙾, I guess, or 𝙏𝙤𝙀, which I guess is the 3rd one in the series, but can be edited to fit most campaigns with little work. It is designed for 4 level 7 adventurers. It consists of 3 stages with fully populated maps, starts off that there's treason amongst the Mythians. The party is sent out as non-Mythians to investigate the claims and look for evidence. They may or may not, though their actions find the first set of clues through their own decisions, not dice rolls. So that's nice. 4 fully furnished color maps with dynamic lighting. That's nice. 3 custom-named NPCs with stats and pictures. 8 new custom monsters, NPCs, each with stats and pictures. 7 new custom magic items, 3 combat focus, 2 wondrous, 1 potion, and 2 other consumable. 13 legendary items designed to scale, and 2 custom feats. And here's some nice art, so you can see the maps with all the little flavor text that goes with each section. And here's one of the monsters, so nice art to go with that new monster and one of the NPCs. And then here's some of the wondrous items. So you've got all these little shards. I like that. Shards of stuff. Okay. And let's take a look inside. So more nice art. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so let's read some of this. The alcove. This area of the second floor appears to function as a small communal space. Upon entering, the party is noticed by 2 out-of-place looking sailors and appear to be in the middle of a game of dice. Their blank expressions turn to snarls as their black eyes meet the party's gaze, though they stay seated. So, some good flavor to it. Seems like they have a lot, pretty much for every area, which is nice. You don't always get that. You don't always get a flavor text for everything. Let's read a little bit of this monster as well. The 𝙒𝙨 is a terror and a self-contradiction. While highly intelligent and able to speak, it does not. It rages like a wild animal. While it is smarter than an average person, it only uses that intelligence to fulfill its appetite for destruction and death. It is believed that the 𝙒𝙨 is made up of many souls that are all enslaved to a single terrible predator. It takes advantage of the faculties of the others to ensure its own desires are met. So a pretty dark beast here. It's a fiend from Infernus, and yeah, kind of demonic background, which is cool. So if you're looking for some, even just for that, you know, might be worth the $4.99. So yeah, check out The Fall of Myth on DriveThruRPG. Click those links below. Next, from adventure bundles, we have Forge of the Fire Giants. It's says for level 14 with a mix of exploration, lots of combat, and a little bit of roleplay. It says venture in the heart of an active volcano. So it's compatible with 5th edition, $3.99 for 16 pages. Deep inside the volcano known as Mount Calamity lives a tribe of fire giants, the Smoldering Cave Clan. No record exists of their coming here, but some say they were shaped by the mountain and lava many years ago. Other stories say that the giant god 𝙤𝙤 created them at the beginning of time when the world was shaped. So the party ventures inside, reaches the heart of the volcano, and after fighting the mythical fire giant Smith, they can use the forge to craft an item for themselves. That's cool. After they use the forge, the cave starts to collapse because the volcano is about to erupt. So they have to make haste if they don't want to be buried alive in the volcano. So you get the adventure, dungeon map, printable PDF, 4 items as printable item cards, 2 homebrew creatures. So lots on offer in here. I think the full-size preview did not work when I tried it, but it might be fixed by the time this video has been out for a bit, so give it a try. And yeah, you can see you've got the nice wizard's layout, cool isometric map, and decent amount of flavor text to go along with the adventure here. And they got their monsters at the end, including some art for some of the monsters. Yeah, and magic items as well with art. So always nicely laid out and organized, and you know, I always love their little index here on the front of what to expect from their titles. So check it out under Forge of the Fire Giants in the links below. Next we have GalefireRPG Characters NPC Pack 2 for $4.99, and you get all of these little characters that you can use in your VTT if you have an isometric VTT system. 9 characters. Also includes the crew of the Quicksilver from the legendary Captain Slade comic series. So you can, if you're a fan of that comic series, you have those as well. And it says you can use them in things like RPG Maker, a visual novel game. So I'm not sure if these are considered stock. Let me see if it has that listed anywhere. No, they're system agnostic, of course, because they are, they don't have any particular stats or anything. That you're just getting the images. But I like the art style, and I thought it might give you guys some options. I always like to have something like this every week if you're looking for something for your VTT. So check it out under GalefireRPG below. Next we have Gaslight Toolkit for low fantasy gaming from Bearwood Press. It's a pay what you want price of $5 for 18 pages. It's compatible with 5th edition and OSR. It says the low fantasy gaming system by Steve Grodzicki is a flexible, powerful rethinking of the D20 rule set under the Open Gaming License. This Gaslight Toolkit helps GMs to convert the traditional sword and sorcery campaign into the world of Gaslight era dark fantasy with minimal prep time. It says including a new way of imagining character wounds, a system for tracking mortality, and advice for how to recreate the mood and themes of 19th century dystopia. So, and it's useful to GMs of any system. So I like that it's got the low fantasy gaming, which is a popular system, combining it with the Gaslight thing that's going on. I mean, it's kind of popular right now. So you get that kind of bridge between the two things, which I always like. And then you can see inside here some very nice art and page layout, very OSR style, which I like. The Flesh and Grit rule set is listed here, and it's reprinted with permission, looks like. And you've got some melee weapons, ranged weapons, equipment, party bonds. Okay, so that's nice. Give you some bonds for your party. We'll look at one of those in a minute. Unique features. The following unique features should be renamed, altered, or excluded to maintain the Gaslight feel. So, thinking about that low fantasy gaming thing, alchemy and mechanica renamed to mechanics. So it's telling you how to kind of even tweak some of the names of the system to be more Gaslight focused. So here's some of the party bonds. Orphans who came of age together while laboring at Bristlecombe Soap Factory in brutal conditions. Medical students at Enright College of Anatomical Science struggling to pay tuition and finish their studies. That's cool. So yeah, it's hard to think about that Victorian period because we just don't have as many games set during that, right? Or as many movies as maybe. Well, I guess there probably are a lot of movies set there, but still, I mean, it can be hard to think about what you want to call something, or the kinds of situations you might be in when you're used to thinking about medieval stuff, right? So if you're looking for that more Victorian Gaslight style stuff, this seems like a really cool option. And it's pay what you want, so that gives you some flexibility. Definitely pay something, but check it out under Gaslight Toolkit in the links below. Next we have The Haunting of Blackthorn Manor by Sari Rowland for Pathfinder 2. Says things haven't been the same in Blackthorn since Lady Anna came back from her quest. She's changed, but with what she must have seen out there and what happened to her poor husband, I can't see how a person could go through that and not change. So Lady Anna Blackthorn is a decorated paladin and baroness, and she was summoned to defend the realm against a dread necromancer known as Corelius. She fought with courage and valor for many months, and at last the forces of light were triumphant, and she returned home to her hero's welcome. But in her absence, a terrible sickness has gripped her lands and claimed the life of her beloved husband. So now she's grief-stricken, and she's not sure if she brought more than glory back from her quest, or if the grief itself has opened the door for something more sinister. So, and it's adventure module for levels 4 to 5. So some cool art for the front there. You can see kind of the layout of the adventure. Pretty good structure there. Adventure outline, and then the people as well as chapters. So pretty well organized. Let's look at some of the people here. So Marcus Willows is a 19-year-old lawful good human fighter and Lady Anna's squire and adoptive son. He is quite short and stocky with shaggy brown hair and a scar on his left cheek. He's friendly and boisterous, always willing to go the extra mile to help people, and he loves Lady Anna dearly and will do anything for her. So, kind of a cool little character you could pull out of here and use for something else even. Got the Rose and Thorn Tavern. So if you say, tell us about Lady Anna, the person says, Lady Anna is a paladin and the Baroness of Blackthorn. She lives in the manor house on the hill to the west of the village along with her squire, Marcus. She is often called away to quest on behalf of her god. Sometimes she can be away for weeks or months at a time battling the forces of darkness to keep us all safe. So, nice little setup. This could be a home base, for your campaign in Pathfinder. Might even be able to adapt it to other systems. But I like that they have multiple outcomes here with plot hooks to follow on. You don't always get that with modules, so very nice. Check it out, Haunting of Blackthorn Manor below. Next we have Helm Greycastle from Top Cow, which is a famous comic publisher. They're associated with Image Comics, and they're selling this for $2.99. It's 40 pages, and from what I can tell, this is a comic book, but it also includes a Latinx one-shot RPG, which is 5th edition compatible. So, you can see this gorgeous comic book art, by Brian Valenza, Ramat Hondako art, and then you've got Henry Barajas is the author, along with Tristan J. Tarwater. And it says here, the last dragon prince has been abducted, kept prisoner by an unknown threat, Aztec Mexica. Helm Greycastle and his outsider comrades are here to save the prince, but are recruited by a resistance plotting to overthrow Montezuma. Will Greycastle help save the people of Mexica or rescue the dragon prince and flee? So that's cool. You get kind of this comic book story and something to play 5th edition with. So it says it is intended for readers 12 plus. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look inside. So here's some of the interiors. Look at how cool the art is. Chapter 1, all the information. Here's some of the comic. The comic is beautiful art. And that's fun. I mean, how often do you get to read a comic and then have an adventure to go with it? And here's just one of the maps. So, and I've always liked Top Cow. I mean, I was there when Image Comics launched, and I bought everything, Cyberforce and all the first rounds of titles, and they've always produced some really good stuff, and their art has always been top notch, and you can tell just looking here at the comic that lots of beautiful art in here. So if you're looking to mix it up for $3, looks like it's on sale, and get to check out a comic and an adventure, this is for you. So look for Helm Greycastle in the links below and check it out. Next we have the Masticator Gate. It's compatible with Mork Borg from Skeleton Key Games, and you can get the PDF for $17.99, or you can go for the hardcover for $34.99, or both for $37.99. It's already a best silver seller, just came out this week. Mork Borg is really popular, and best silver means they've sold 100 copies already in the first week, and it's already got a 5-star rating. This is a complete campaign for Mork Borg. It's got 3 linked adventures, new monsters and hazards, Eldritch relics, cults, demons, body horror, and a bunch of other stuff. Played to completion, this campaign has enough content for 5 to 7 sessions of play at 20 plus hours. The other content can be reused infinitely, and there's a guide for extending the campaign using other published material. It also requires the use of the Endless Demon deck, which is available at this link, so just keep that in mind. And it says they're going to have a non-print on demand version of the book available for pre-order soon. But it's stunning when you look at the pages. I mean, look at this art. It is just beautiful. And the Mork Borg stuff, I'm always impressed by the art. It just has this cool, splashy look to it. Kind of combination of music art or coffee table books, or even those library books where you would, look and learn about different things, right? Like this map looks like one of those things a little bit. And, just look at all these crazy creatures and stuff going on. I really like how Mork Borg stuff engages all the senses because it's very visual. And it's very nice. It's not directly from Mork Borg, it's just published under the third-party license, so you should check it out if you are into Mork Borg or maybe thinking about getting into it. If nothing else, you're going to have some inspiring art to look through, and I think it's a gorgeous looking book. So check it out under the Masticator Gate down below in the links. Next we've got Old Swords Reign expansion from Scott Myers and Workhorse RPG Studio. This one's got a PDF at $3.98, hardcover black and white book at $11.99, or both for $11.99, and it's compatible with OSR, and it says 5th edition as well. Contains 3 new races: Gnome, Half-Elf, and Half-Orc. 4 new classes based on the 1974 game supplements, including Druid, Monk, Paladin, and Ranger. Druid spells, an optional feat system, and over 70 additional monsters from 𝙒𝙞𝙢𝙚𝙀 to Yeti. It says it's based on a combination of the 5th edition and original 1974 game supplements. So, and this is, it's kind of its own system, Old Swords Reign, but it's based on those 2 source systems, and they're expanding it here with this book. We've talked about their stuff before. Let's look inside. So you got that classic black and white look inside to go with the, kind of the old school stuff. You get to see 65 of the 70 pages, so really no reason not to take a look at this and see if it's a system that works for you. But I love the little line art. It reminds me like I'm reading one of the basic sets from back in the day. Got all kinds of creatures. It looks like definitely has that feel. So we'll look at one of the creatures or races if we can here in a minute. So yeah, gnomes, half elves, half orcs, magic user, druid, spells. So lots of spells in here. Monsters. Well, let's see. Okay, telepathy. It's a magical ability that allows a monster to communicate mentally with another creature within a specified range. Yep, so cool. They've got telepathy as well. So tons of old school monsters in here. Dragon Turtle, Fomorian, Night Hags, Lamia, Naga. So yeah, if you're looking for that old school feel, if you want to have some new monsters that work with OSR, kind of Old Swords Reign, which is like this combination of OSR 5th edition, then this expands it for you. You can see kind of traditional 5th edition stats here. Like most of this is 5th edition. I think, yeah. And then, yeah, it's got the actions. It seems like it's got the old school feel, but more 5th edition style. I haven't played Old Swords Reign, so I'm not sure, but that's what I'm picking up here, which is nice. So maybe you're looking for that blend. You want that more old school feel, but you want to use the 5th edition rule set. Maybe this will work for you. And this seems to be like the book to start playing Old Swords Reign, because it doesn't say you need any other books. It's expansion on it, so this is like the core book as near as I can tell, and it's 70 pages. So for $3.98, you can check that out. Get some stuff for your campaign going under Old Swords Reign in the links below. Next we have One Sheet Rules in one-page old school RPG by Bill King, and from One Sheet Rules as well. It's 2 pages, and you can get it for free. And it's an ultralight, classless, levelless game compatible with any OSR system, such as Old School Essentials or Swords and Wizardry, Labyrinth Lord, all that good stuff. You can learn it in 10 minutes and create a character in a minute or less. You can use the adventures and source books you already own, and you can teach a 9-year-old to play in a couple of minutes. So kind of fun option, and it's free. the full-size preview didn't work for me when I tried it earlier, but again, it's only 2 pages and it's free, so you might as well just get it and check it out. But what I was intrigued by, and what jumped out at me when I was looking for what I was going to include this week, is that it's, ultra light, and it's classless and levelless. So, if you can learn the rules in 10 minutes and you don't have classes or levels, it could be a really good option for you to simplify your game. Maybe it'll help you have faster sessions if maybe you're busy and you don't get to play very much. And I like that it's OSR compatible, because it might be a good gateway for people to get into OSR, because they can simplify it even more. So yeah, check it out. One Sheet Rules in the links below. Next we have One Shot in the Dark, rules ultralight RPG for 1 to 4 players. So lots of rules alternatives this week. This one's also for OSR, from Tale of the Manticore at $1.50. And it can be played solo or with up to 4 people. It's a true one-shot in the sense that it can be played in full in a single session, usually in less time than it takes to watch a movie. A standard deck of playing cards and polyhedral dice are needed, or you can use an app, of course, to roll. I like the cover. It's got a kind of cool, fun look to it. So here's some frequently asked questions. If a thief fails to disarm a trap, who takes the damage? Just like in combat, you decide who takes the damage. If a thief fails to disarm a trap chest, does the trap automatically go off? Yes, the failed save means the trap is sprung. So these kind of rules or questions are probably helping you if you're playing solo, so that you don't get confused and you're not sure, like, okay, well, what happens now with this? Does the trap go off or not? So it's nice that they have that kind of fact file there for you. But I like things that can be either solo or played with a group. But yeah, you can get the 17 pages for only $1.50. So look for One Shot in the Dark on DriveThruRPG or in the links below. Next we have Paths of Magic for Pathfinder from Ascension Games. It's already a best copper seller. So it's sold over 50 copies in its first week. And Paths of Magic is a really popular part of Pathfinder these days. I think there's Paths of Might as well. And it kind of is a different way to handle magic in Pathfinder, which I find really interesting. So there's the PDF at $19.99. You can get the standard color for $49.99 or hardcover at $59.99, or you can get combos for discounts there. The author is Christopher Moore. It says, discover your true potential with Paths of Magic, the final book of the Path series. It says it serves as a compilation, rebalance, and update of all previous books in the Path series, along with plenty of brand new content to go along with it. Inside you'll find a massive library of options for your favorite base and core classes, exploring the concepts of shadows, artifice, and nature through new classes, feats, magic items, and more. There's 9 new base classes, like the Eldritch Kabbalist, the Cunning Saboteur, the Spirit Calling Invoker, the Stealthy Nightblade, the Protective Warden, and more. Dozens of new options and archetypes for your favorite classes, such as the Metallurgic Alchemist, Animist, Barbarian, and the Shadow Priest Cleric. Nearly 150 new feats, over 250 new spells, a rune magic system where every spell serves to empower the next, complete with 200 runic scripts, feats, magic items, and archetypes, new magic weapons, armor, wondrous items, and more. And it's full color. I just know this is very popular, and I've enjoyed looking at some of the things I've seen with it, and I'm happy to see that they've kind of maybe done a rebalance and made it even better for you. So yeah, look at how much stuff is in here. These are all the archetypes and options and spells. Just tons of stuff. Beautiful layout, of course. And the artwork is quite nice. You can see we've got the Kabbalist here and some of the various things. So let's look at these. Dual realities. Your mind is open to multiple casualties, letting you subtly alter the results of actions taken. Once per binding, when an opponent makes a successful attack roll against you, you can use an immediate action to force them to re-roll the attack. You must do so before the damage of the attack is rolled, and they must use the new result even if it is worse. So, very cool insight option. Let's see what else we got up here. We got the ritual spells. So this is all about the Kabbalist or Kabbalist. I don't know how you pronounce it. I want to say Kabbalist. It says the first part of Paths of Magic consists of new options when creating characters, primarily in the form of new classes, feats, and archetypes. So it says focuses on 8 new 20-level base classes, exploring the themes of shadows, artifice, and nature. These classes are designed to be comparable in power to the existing Pathfinder classes while still filling their own niche within a party and having more than enough options throughout the book so players don't feel left out from the plethora of archetypes and expanded abilities available to existing player classes. So lots of options to start with and expand your Pathfinder game, give you tons of new classes, spells, I mean, you name it, it's in this book, and you can get hardcover, softcover versions. So click the link in the description below and support this creator and the channel at the same time. It's under Paths of Magic. Next we have Pretty Pennies, Making Copper Pieces Worth the Encumbrance by James Eck. It's from MindWeaveRPG and it's $1 for the PDF. It's compatible, it says, with Pathfinder, D&D 1st Edition, and OSR and osric. It says it attempts to expand the potential of copper and silver coins in a campaign beyond their minor monetary value. It contains 13 magic and cursed coins, a numismatist NPC expert hireling to find collectible coins, the leprechaun elder, a fae capable of discerning the potential certain coins have to be used by other fae to enhance their powers. So I like this. It's jumped out at me because we don't really care much about copper and silver normally, so having something for very little money here to help you with your money in the game is kind of cool. It says if you've ever had players expend the effort to haul hundreds of thousands of copper pieces out of a dungeon only to exchange them for a handful of gold pieces worth only minuscule experience points, you've heard the weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth for loot in the form of worthless heavy trash. The purpose of this document is to make those piles of non-gold coins a little more interesting by inserting some extra special gems among the slag of coins only to be found by clever and dedicated player. So it talks about magic coins, coins of binding, coins of dark sight. You're getting to see all of the pages, and it says 9 when the description only has 7, so that might need to be updated. So you're actually getting to see more than what it's saying the book has. But there's some monsters, examples of valuables. So let's read one of these. Coin of light projection. The holder of this coin can speak a command word to cause it to emit a light that illuminates a 10-foot wide beam up to 80 feet away. As a bullseye lantern, the light can be suppressed by closing a hand over the coin and can also be extinguished with a command word. Alternate names, torch, coin, or spotlight. Nice. I like that they're giving alternate names. As a creator myself, we often come up with alternate names and only use one, so it's nice that they're giving you variations so you can have it called by different things in your campaign if you want or need to, or just maybe even pick a different name if you don't like the name that they've given it. So that's a very cool option in this book. And there's some highly detailed coins. I mean, this coin appearing has quite a few paragraphs, so I'm sure you can find some coins in here that will make it useful. It's only $1. If you have a player that's digging through all this stuff or really wants it to be more interesting on the copper side or silver side, then this book is for you. Also, I mean, think about the coin collectors that play Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe you have a friend or family member that collects coins, and you can bring this numismatist or that kind of coin collecting into the game and make them sort of marry their two loves there into one. So it might make them further engaged. Maybe that person is losing interest in the game or something, and this will bring them back. So check out Pretty Pennies in the links below. Next we got Snails, an RPG plugin from Jeroen. It's a suggested price of $2 under Pay What You Want, 18 pages. It says any system agnostic, compatible with Dungeons and Dragons. 18-page plugin for your RPG system themed around snails, includes monsters, magic weapons, adventure hooks, and player options. So a lot of different things related to snails, it looks like. Some fun art on the front, and then you got the intro, and then the monsters. So you're getting to see 7 of the 18 pages. So you got the winter snail. It's cool. I like snails. I have snails in my Potions Unlocked book. Kind of fun, but yeah, there's lots of different options. Even a zombie snail, so that could be good in your Ravenloft campaign or somewhere. So very cool. I like the art too. The art is really distinct. It's a different style than you usually see, so I appreciate that they're trying something different with that art. Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. Let's read about one of the snails here. Winter snails were created after the floods in the cold north. From their birthplace, they quickly spread out across the land. These large creatures, some have been spotted measuring 10 meters, do not seem to have any real intelligence and attack all creatures in their search for food. They lay eggs in caves and underground tunnels. The young ones have the same icy aura as the adult specimens, but are unable to fire shards. Young do not generate a trail behind them. Winter snails are sometimes found in large groups called winter swarms, freezing large parts of a country before adventurers can stop the plague. And then they have an adventure hook, which is nice. It's cool when you can include those for monsters. So yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun, and most people would not expect a snail, right? You know, maybe they're used to fighting dragons and big things, so you know, maybe hit them with something tiny and mix it up. You could even think about having somebody collect these snails and unleashing these snails one at a time, so each one is like a different battle. So you could have a big bad that's like a snail collector. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So check it out under snails in the links below. Next we have Freebooter's Den, or SOS8, which is what it'll be under in the links, written by Lewis or Lou Kahn. It's a mid-level fantasy adventure for players level 4 to 6 from Starry Night Press. It says it's compatible with 5th edition, osric, OSR, or really any system. Says local legends speak of dark days when pirates and cultists ruled this land. Now a cave-in has revealed a long-lost den of the ancient chaotic folk. A trio of adventurers went into the den to investigate but never returned. You've been hired to find them and cleanse the place of chaos if you dare. So it's the 8th adventure in a series, but it seems like it's standalone. And you can have 4 to 6 veteran adventurers at levels 4 to 6. And they have a coastal village called Freebooter's Hollow, and all kinds of fun stuff here. It says, when lawful forces took over the territory around Freebooter's Hollow, they rooted out the bad elements, literally burying the past. In the case of many of the chaotic shrines and pirate dens, such was the case in this village, where a piratical minotaur captain and his crew were entombed alive in the den of a chaotic cult, where they have lain safely buried for centuries. So deal with some minotaurs, pirate style, I guess. So yeah, it looks fun, and these maps are quite nice. So let's see what we can see inside with the quick preview. I don't think they don't have a full size. So it's nice little 8-page supplement here. Got your magic item, a map with the hex style, and this map here too. Very fun. Yeah, so, you know, maybe if you need something Minotaur related, here's the whole adventure. It looks like it'd be a pretty quick one too, and it's only $2, so it could be a quick module for you and your campaign. And next we have Chronicles of Artrusia. It's going to be under the World of Artrusia in the links below, and it's a source book for Zamoria Mega Dungeon campaign. It's from Voxel House, pay what you want price, suggested of $2.99. It's compatible with OSR, and you can see the nice art. This kind of reminds me of the Labyrinth movie a little bit, David Bowie. You got a cool map of Artrusia. We've spotlighted a few of their titles before. They're kind of building this world of Artrusia, and it seems like this book is focused around the world itself. So if you've been playing the modules, the little OSR modules they've been releasing, this is probably going to give you more of a source book background for the location, and you can see a little map of it here. I think it seems like a really fun place to adventure, and they've got like this whole timeline. You can see here under 40 AR it says aerolite technology spreads to Artrusia and new inventions are created. And then down here, the foundation of the Scarlet Cartel. So lots of history and fun if you're playing OSR, and it's 34 pages of giving you this whole setting. So I would check it out if you're in the market for a new setting, or just even a new campaign. Maybe you've checked out the previous Foxhole House titles. So yeah, grab this and complete the set, or just get started learning about the area. Maybe you can even use the setting in another system like 5th edition, and is at a pay what you want price. So definitely pay something. Check it out on DriveThruRPG. In the links below, it's under World of Artrusia. So that's the last DriveThruRPG title for this week. We'll move on to DM's Guild, but before we do, please follow me on Twitter at Splinterverse. Please subscribe to the channel, click that like button, share the video with others, leave us a comment. We'll respond to all those comments, and get the word out, help spread the word on all these creators. If you are so kind, consider purchasing one of our books, Potions Unlocked or Van Richten's Librum of Lineages. Both of those are fun, and they're linked below as well. And if you click on those links and support these creators, or even just purchase anything else after clicking on the links, it's going to provide a little bit of funds to the channel, which helps us out, and helps us to continue to be able to do this every week and showcase these titles. They roll off that main page pretty quickly, and they're hard to find if you don't know the search terms. So hopefully you can go back to these videos, just lounge on your couch, binge them, or even fast forward or watch them on a faster speed, and just learn about new titles. So we really appreciate everyone watching and subscribing. And now on to DM's Guild. DM's Guild title is Bestials, 20 New Animal Folk Races, and it's by Jim Heston. It's only 99 cents for 43 pages. It says add 20 new race options to your game for only 99 cents. And here's a list of some of them. So you got a spider, python, badger, dog, whale, scorpion, peacock, antelope, tiger, tons of options. And I know there was another title recently that had similar beasts, and seems pretty popular. I think these are some really cool options. Even a butterfly, which I like butterflies a lot. So let's take a look inside. So you've got, here's the spider, and this is all the details on it, and then you go into the python and all the details with pictures for each one. So let me pick one here. So it says you get to, out of the 7 pages, you get to see instead of the full 43. Let's see. Most python bestials love to spend time in the water. Most pride themselves on their physical prowess and tend to isolate themselves from other races. They have very slender forms, long necks, and snake-like heads. So they got blindside, constriction. You have advantage on attempts to grapple and retain a grapple. If a creature ends its turn grappled by you, you can squeeze it using your reaction, dealing 1d4 bludgeoning damage to it. Natural armor, you have a tough, scaly skin. When you aren't wearing armor, your AC is 13, plus your dexterity modifier. You can use your natural armor to determine your AC if the armor you wear would leave you lower than that. A shield's benefits apply as normal when you use your natural armor. And then you have a 25-foot swimming speed. So those are like appropriate abilities for a python. You would expect a python to be able to do all those things. So very cool. And you get to see a little bit of the badger here. So definitely some fun options if you want to bring some like animal races to your campaign. I know that there's going to be rabbit folk. It's not called that, but in the new Feywild supplement from the Wizards of the Coast, they're going to have some animal-like races in there as well. So, and then there's also, I think, an owl race coming in the Strixhaven supplement. So if you want some additional animal races, maybe you can even have a campaign where the only races are animal ones. That could be kind of fun. I know there's some supplements out there that do that, but this could be a way to do that as well. So check it out in the links below under Bestials. Next we have Booze at the Bottle Forge by Someday Games, and Joey Papalia, Sarah Will, and Layla Fouth. It is $2 for 46 pages. It says, after the death of the renowned brewmaster Abram Battleforge, strange things began to happen in the sleepy northern town of Talon's Reach. Wild rumors spread that the local brewery is haunted by some evil spirit known as the 𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙬𝙀. Abram's granddaughter Cheer is left in charge, but she is finding it hard to keep her employees from deserting her and leaving the brewery unmanned. She is determined to find capable individuals to spend the night at the Bottle Forge to find out what is really going on when the lights go out. In Booze at the Bottle Forge, it's up to you and your party of intrepid adventurers to get to the bottom of the mystery, to have what it takes to save Cheer and her brewery. So, very fun little pitch there, and you can see 4 of the 46 pages. So it's nice, clean, easy to read text, and lots of fun pictures for the different characters. There's the 𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙬𝙀 and other fun characters in here. So let's see. Upon taking the job, the party learns that strange and unexplained things have been happening at night. So they get a tour, and the tour is interrupted by her angry, unfriendly uncle. Once the terms of the job are given to the party, they lock the doors of the brewery behind them and leave the group to the task at hand. The rumored 𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙬𝙀 makes a sudden appearance and disappearance. So it's kind of a mystery, like Scooby-Doo style. Trap the party inside, make them stuck till they figure it out. There's fun characters. Yeah, I think you can have a lot of fun with this. And it's only $2. So look for Booze at the Bottle Forge on Dungeon Masters Guild and in the links below. Next we have the Carnival of Faces, a 6 to 10 hour adventure for 3rd level by Jake Van de Wall. It's multiple file formats for $8 and 23 pages. It says, untangle the secret of a mysterious festival, and in a cozy valley atop an ancient hot spring somewhere in the Forgotten Realms lies a queer little town called Sleet Gap. Fog rises from the canals that line the streets, and townsfolk spend each year preparing for a local festival called the Carnival of Faces. Ancient traditions bring the streets to life with food, games, and colorful masks on every citizen. It's certainly an event not to be missed. This year, however, a strange spell has befallen the town, and something sinister lurks in the fog. Players will descend into the town's ancient history to uncover dark forces at work and, with cunning, bravery, and a bit of luck, restore the town to safety in the hands of its patron deities. So it's a 6 to 10 hour adventure with characters of 3rd level. It can be set in Forgotten Realms or elsewhere. There's 3 chapters, custom rules for Moonstones, which is an in-character dice game. 3 fascinating monsters inspired by mysterious plane of mirrors, and a D100 table of random carnival masks. So that's cool. Let's take a look inside. So you got all your information laid out, so each of the chapters, and then at the end you got your Moonstones, Maps, and Bestiary. So nice flavor text and maps here. So let's read one of the flavor texts. Short distance away, you spy a well-crafted wooden wagon. Beautiful multicolored patterns curl around the body of the vehicle. They appear to be hand-painted, but age has slightly dulled their hue. A stout dragon-born fellow dressed in equally colorful robes stands next to the wagon. As he catches your eye, he waves his hand and gives you a friendly shout. Ho there! Spare an old craftsman a moment of your time? So, fun little character there. It says, Sleet Gap's canals flow from a natural hot spring. When they meet the cool air of the surrounding environment, they create a light fog that blankets the streets and lends the town an otherworldly air at all times. While standing outdoors, a creature is considered lightly obscured. So that's a different feel for a little town. So yeah, definitely could have fun if you have a Forgotten Realms, campaign going, or maybe you want to just plop this town somewhere else and have this, fog and this carnival with all these masks. Seems pretty fun to me. So check it out on Dungeon Masters Guild. Next we have Cookie Shop from David Jansen, $2. And it says, it's a fully fleshed out shop, ready to be placed into any campaign. Includes NPCs that inhabit the place, a map, menu for players to choose goodies to feast on, and an encounter suggestion. So, and they also have a tea shop available if you like this cookie shop. And so you get the little map of the cookie shop. You get to see all 9 pages in the preview, which is nice. So here's the map. And when I was checking this out earlier, I really love the art. I think this art is stunning, and it's got a cool little feel to it as you look at the characters here. And they've got a call out for each of the places in the shop. Quite a lot of rooms in this little shop. Then here's your menu. You got a coconut donut, Sing Centimes peanut butter cookies, and then this is the pink side. This is 1 gold piece per choice. So you can have, I'm guessing that's drinks. And here's the encounter. So with the little stat blocks, so lots of little options to populate this shop. We'll read a little bit about Eliza. It says, Eliza's back rested against the kitchen door. She waited for a scream. They would come, but she was ready for them this time. Pop! She casually slurped her bubble gum back into her mouth and blew a new bubble. Her mage's staff impatiently tapped against the door. It was almost closing time, and yet there was no sign of the freckled cloud. Just then she heard the anticipated scream, "Those are mine!" She immediately pushed open the door and saw 6 kids scurrying through the shop, their dexterous fingers finding their mark before making off with their delicious bounty. So fun little backstory there. Bubblegum, so this could be, modern. It could be, you could maybe have some bubblegum in your fantasy setting. It depends on what you want to allow, but I think this is fun, flavorful, different, colorful. Maybe it's even, you could even place this on another plane. Why not? I think it's fun, different, outside the norm. So check it out under Cookie Shop in the links below. Next we have Create a Background, a background creation guide, a background creation guide written by Matthew Gravelin, and it's $2. And I do want to say, I've read and purchased Matthew Gravelin's work before, and it's pretty good. He's got a lot of books on how to create subclasses, and I've used some of those in the past to kind of research and read through, and he does a really thorough job based on things I've read. I haven't read this book, but maybe I will at some point, and I just wanted to share my experience based on past work of his. It says, anyone can pick up a sword and saunter off to battle, but it's where you came from that matters. This guide offers step-by-step instructions to create your very own background, and it includes a couple backgrounds along with it to kind of give you examples. And what he typically does with these titles is he looks at every single official wizard's background or subclass, and then reports on what are the common things to these, so that you can balance your creations using what he talks about. Also gives you lots of food for thought, to kind of figure out how you're going to go about creating something. So it's good for creators, or even just people that like to homebrew. So you can see kind of the background overview here. It talks about the humble beginnings, the inflection points. So backgrounds are the before, but then something happens to the character that propels them into a life of adventuring. Sometimes the setup is included in the background, and sometimes it's just implied. A farmer may one day pick up his trusty sickle and head off to battle because his land was stolen by an evil baron, or the earth itself turned against him, possessed by malevolent forces. So he's not only telling you what your options are to create, but he's giving you examples, and I think that's really helpful, because if this is anything like the subclass ones, he'll talk about, okay, at this level of the subclass, this is what happens, and then you see 2 examples right there with you. So you don't have to go look at the official ones. You have 2 examples right there. You can, of course, look at the official ones, but it's nice to have examples right there as well to kind of implement. So I do think it's a good idea if you're a creator. So check it out under Create a Background in the links below. Next we have Dracodex, the Codex of Dragons, with 300 plus new dragons from Linmos, and it's $19.99. It gives any Dungeon Master a massive repertoire of over 300 new dragons to use at their table. Additionally, there are a few variants of dragons from older books and dragons from within the supplement. All of this is spread across 331 pages, so you can easily browse and find the perfect dragon to unleash on your party. And there's player resources on top of the bestiary. So let's look at the inside. So you can start with the credits and author's note. And then they've got a race, the Dracotar it looks like, and then maybe some sub-races of Dragonborn, ancestries for the Dragonborn, kobolds, lizard folk, and then choosing a class, feats, backgrounds, and then you get into the dragons and stuff. So proto-dragons, greater dragons, all that good stuff. So I would, if I was the creator of this, I would hype up the player options, because I'm not sure that the title and the way you've written the catalog really punches that up. And the players are a big part of your audience, so you definitely want to call that out. Make sure also, when you're picking your little check boxes of categories that the book falls into, that you have player options. You may already have that, but I really think you have a lot in here. I was actually surprised looking at that table of contents how many player options there are in this book. So I would recommend promoting that and making that a bigger part of your marketing strategy, maybe even in the first little bit there, or even on the cover or something. Because look, you've got this whole race here, Dracotar, and then you've got some Dragonborn options with some nice art, kobolds, lizard folk. Yeah, and it's all clean, very wizard style. And then you get into this bestiary, and there's a new spell. So you get 17 pages of player options. There's a lot of titles on here that are like 2 pages, 3, 4 pages for a player option. So even just having 17 pages of player stuff's really good. But you can see lots and lots of dragons. Let's see if we can find something quick to read in here. Pharaoh Draco, where Pharaoh Draco roughly means metal dragon, or as we know them today, metallic dragons. Pharaoh Draco were the first metallic dragons to be found on any material plane where metallic dragons are found. Okay? So you get some background history on some of these dragons, and Fizban's dragon book is coming out from Wizards here soon in October. I'm also working on a dragon book that's going to come out around then, once I'm done with the Feywild book, which I can't wait for you guys to see. So check this out if you're looking for some dragons. There's lots of dragon stuff in here. So it's under Dracodex in the links below. Next, we have another thing related to dragons called The Dragon, an Otherworldly Patron for Warlocks by Craig Mackey. And Craig did a really interesting thing where for July, Craig made a subclass released a subclass for every single day, and this is the 31st out of the 31 that Craig created. So I wanted to spotlight it to say, it did get to the 31, and it's $1.50. And there's also a bundle down here for $11.95. You get all 31 subclasses that were made during July, which I think is really cool. That was, quite a challenge, a personal challenge for Craig to go through and create this many in 1 month. Maybe Craig started earlier, I don't know, but it's quite a lot of them, and I think it was a cool gimmick to get people interested, and I definitely was interested, and we did feature a few of those in previous videos. We didn't feature them every week because we try to share the love and show a lot of creators, but it's really cool. It says, in this case, meet the dragon, a patron that imparts many of the gifts that make these legendary creatures so formidable. And it's also got 11 new spells for almost all classes. So again, this could tie in with the Fizban's book coming out in October from Wizards. So take a look here. You can see we've got all the things that you would normally have, including a small dragon stat block here for Draconic Soul. So we'll look at one of the abilities here. Draconic Aid, starting at 6th level, you have a resistance to damage type determined by your patron's color. So if your patron is black or copper, you're resistant to acid, or silver or white, you're resistant to cold, etc. In addition to, as a bonus action, you can summon an elemental spirit to serve you. The spirit uses the Draconic Soul stat block, which uses your proficiency bonus and the element of your patron. The spirit is friendly to you and your companions and obeys your commands. So that's what this little stat block is for. You've got traits, and then here's your spell list. So nice clean layout, as usual, from Craig and Sparkle Gem Studios. So check it out and maybe consider this bundle, because you can get 30 subclasses for $12 and support the kind of stretch goal that Craig took on to do 31 in 31 days. So very cool, fun stuff. Under the Dragon, or actually it's under Dragon, because we don't usually list by the in our links, so look for Dragon in the links below. And next we have Fighters Armory, new options for fighters by A.Arc Mith and FLF Publishing. $6.99 suggested price on the pay what you want, and it's 32 pages, and it says here you get new options for fighters, including new martial archetype, the Knight, and its 5 orders, 11 fully illustrated fighter-specific item sets, 2 new fighting styles, 3 new feats, 5 new martial maneuvers, improvement to dual wield, and Fighter Made Easy build advice. And you can see some really nice art already. Looking inside, you get to see 6 of the 32 pages, and it's in spread view here, so you get to see kind of a nice look. Look at these cool item sets, how they go together. The art is really stunning. Let's zoom in on one of these here. So Battlemaster's uniform. I don't think we have a scroll bar to get to the other side, so we'll read about the Cavalier's honor garb. This flamboyantly designed weapon, being colorful and decorated with silk cloth, is enchanted to aid its wielder. While holding this weapon, you gain a bonus to attack and damage rolls equal to its bonus. Upon being struck with this weapon, a foe must make a strength save versus be knocked back 15 feet. Rarity determines this weapon's bonus. So, so you can, it's got various rarities. That's nice. Gives you some flexibility. And then when you wear all 3 of these items, you gain an additional reaction. So beautifully drawn sets of armor, and then you've got a whole archetype here. Yeah, I think if you're into fighters, this is a really good option. It's pay what you want, so definitely pay something. Check it out. 32 pages devoted to fighters with all these cool art inside. So look for Fighters Armory in the links below. Next we have The Hunt for Groven's Shield, a setting neutral one-shot adventure designed for a party of 4 4th level characters from P.E. Price. $2.99 at 27 pages. And it says the adventurers are going to head into a once quiet forest in search of the village's newest elder, Silrain Grovenshield. Accompanied by another elder, Elspeth Pebblepocket, the party quickly learned that Silrain's disappearance may be both more planned and sinister than they thought. Even worse, the entire material plane may be in danger. That's no good. It's 27 pages. The party will use special overland travel rules to traverse an ancient forest and overcoming a variety of forces. So, very fun setup there. Here's the interior. So you've got your flavor text and your stat blocks for these characters. So, and it talks about traveling through the forest and preparing, all kinds of information. So, Elspeth Pebblepocket is an elderly gnome, most attentive of the elders, is plain to all but the most insightful of characters that she seems to be at odds with her fellow elders about the matter at hand and how to address it. So, some intrigue, politics here, it looks like, disagreements about how to proceed. So I like the setup. I like that it takes place in a forest that could lead you to the Feywild. Next month, the 20th, my Feywild book's coming out. It's going to be massive, and in terms of page count, and also the the Feywild book from Wizards. So, this could be kind of a lead-in to finding your characters in the Feywild. I like it. Next is The Joke's on You by Antonio Munoz, and it's 27 pages at $2.99. It says, what could possibly go wrong? It all starts like your typical assignment: break into the mansion, retrieve the treasure, get out, and get paid. Easy peasy, right? After all, the owner of the mansion has been missing for weeks, so no one is watching the place. What's the worst that could happen? Yet when the adventurers enter the manor, they become assailed by nefarious traps and attacked by a mysterious guard that protects its corridors. Can the party prevail amid the unexpected turn of events, or did they just bite more than they could chew? So it's kind of like they're the thieves in Home Alone or something. It's a 48-hour adventure for 4 to 6 first to second level players. You can use tactics, traps, and treasure formula. There's a new level 1/2 CR monster, and there's a print-friendly version, so that's cool. Let's look inside. Alright, so some fun art of what's happening in here. You see 3 of the 27 pages. So this is a kitchen, an L-shaped kitchen equipped with a coal-fueled hob and working surfaces. The hob is on during the day, keeping Yerox warm upstairs. A sink full of dirty plates and cutlery rests beside one of the kitchen counters. A big counter with spoiled food stands in the middle. There is an unlocked trap door on the southwestern area of the room. It leads to the pantry. See the basement map and chapter for more details. So it seems like a fully stocked, loaded setting. Again, trapping them inside is similar to another adventure we looked at earlier, where you're trapped inside looking for stuff. And I guess the theme this week is, either being trapped inside or that kind of module where there's conflict. There should always be conflict in modules, I guess, but maybe interpersonal conflict or disagreements about how to proceed would be the more precise way of saying it. Next, we have the Kings of Fire and Forge, battle for survivor amongst rampaging fire giant lords in this adventure module. It's from Kieran Mathers, $7.99 for 59 pages. So quite a lot of pages, which is nice. Resolve the war of battling fire giants and face off against Queen 𝙒𝙚𝙀𝙪 or Tyrant Flexstag in this epic Tier 3 adventure. So you don't see a lot of Tier 3, that's nice. It's a direct sequel to the best-selling Dark Peaks adventure, Blizzards of Axe and Sword, starting with the rescue of Merchant Selny and ending in an epic confrontation with the fire giant lord and their allies. It takes the adventurers on an epic journey through the Giant Reach Mountains. So it's fully compatible with Storm King's Thunder as well, or it can be standalone. 6 different adventure locations, and it's for Tier 3. Like I said, that's, you don't see a lot of those. 5 character stat blocks, 5 unique monster stat blocks, 10 powerful and unique magical items, 5 maps, and professional artwork. So you can see some examples of that here. Very nice wizard style layout. Seeing your credits and your information. So here's all the parts of the adventure, all the way through 6, and then appendix with stat blocks and weapons, etc. So you got your adventure hooks. So as you approach the bridge, you can hear the roaring of the fast-flowing river beneath you, churning into a mass of rock-filled rapids. This crashing water fills the air with haze and throws subtle rainbows through the bright afternoon sun. Ahead beyond that, you can hear the sounds of shouting and several low bellowing voices you identify as being in the language of giants. Ahead of you, however, stands 2 fire giants overtopping the smaller trees in height and clad in fire-darkened armor. In the depths of their thick helmets, you can see their red eyes burning like old coals. They do not appear to want you to pass across the bridge. So already, this is part 1. It's, you've got a standoff. You're over here, and they're blocking you on the bridge. So very cool. I like that a lot. Giants are always fun, and it's nice that you can use this with Storm King's Thunder or the rest of the series, which I'm sure is down here. You can check out the rest of the series. Be curious if they're going to be a bundle at some point with maybe all the parts of this series. Maybe they're waiting till they finish the series, but that would be cool. I like all of this though. Very nice art and style to this. So check it out under Kings of Fire and Forge down below. Next we have Legacy of the Dinosaur Druid. Learn the secrets of the Dinosaur Village, a 4 to 6 hour adventure for levels 5 to 8. It's $2.95 from David Bilski, 26 pages. It says your dinosaur companion leads you to a mossy hill. Atop the hill, a giant tree, one of the tallest in the jungle, stretches more than 200 feet into the air. Ancient one, I have brought travelers. A huge mossy boulder sitting between the roots of the tree moves. No, not a boulder, an ankylosaurus. His craggy face looks weary as he lifts his head and opens his crusty eyes to focus on you. So some dinosaur fun with this. You meet a secret village of awakened dinosaurs. So dinosaur society has quietly existed for centuries, thanks to a lineage of druids. So there's an endearing cast of talking dinosaurs, a complete pantheon of saurian gods, multiple paths to success, and a chance for your players to earn either a wish or unleash the fury of the Tyrannosaurus god. So full color can be run as a one-shot or slotted into any campaign. And there's a whole background and synopsis here, but it looks like a lot of fun. Inside and this was also a product of the Storytelling Collective and RPG Writer Workshop, so very nice. You can see all of the acts laid out here, and then you've got your appendix. But I really like the concept that, the dinosaurs being awakened. Can just tweak it a little bit. Maybe somebody's been begging you as a DM to include some dinosaurs. When are we going to fight dinosaurs? Yada yada yada. And then you can kind of turn that on its ear with, you want dinosaurs, I'll give you awakened dinosaurs. Right? And even if you tease them and say, next session we're going to have dinosaurs, and then they get all in their head that they're going to fight these mindless beasts, when they get there, it's this. So I like this a lot. So talking about all the different little flavor texts in here, and then you've got items. So they got wind knots. This is a simple rope approximately 10 feet long with 3 knots tied in it. A creature holding the item may use their action to untie one of the knots. Doing so will cast the Gust of Wind spell, which will last for the full duration and will not require concentration. Once the final knot is untied, the item loses its magic and becomes a mundane length of rope. So very cool. Yeah, so you've even got some items in here, but yeah, I recommend checking it out. It's only $2.95. Legacy of the Dinosaur Druid in the links below. Click it. Next we have the Mad Witch of Carcave. Evil doesn't sleep in this tier 2 adventure for D&D. Superstitions abound when a 100-year-old festival with the dark past is resurrected in the village of Carcave. But after several of the town's young ones vanish into thin air, what was once fear quickly manifests into panic. So this is the second kind of festival-themed one we've seen today. So you could combine these. Maybe have the party go from town to town, visiting some mysterious festivals. It says a handful of search parties are organized to find the missing children, but to no avail. After months of searching in vain, hopelessness is beginning to take root. As darkness grows in forgotten places, and the festival of the crow draws near, time is running out to save the children before the harvest. So tier 2 players for a 48-hour adventure. You find what's been stolen and discover the mysteries that lurk in the fields beyond. 5 full color maps, 2 custom monsters, and new items and spells. And it's a pay what you want price of $2 for 21 pages. So let's look at the full size preview here. So yeah, nice little maps, flavor text going on, and some sidebars. So, under the watchful gaze of 3 titanic windmills, the village of Carcave sluggishly bustles as a town of farmers and farmhands set stalls and shops among the streets. The vibrant greens and yellows of the surrounding land that made for a pleasant entry into town is heavily contrasted now by the blues and grays of the downtrodden people. An iron sign wags on the hinges outside of a homey tavern titled the Raven's Roost. So you get a cool little tavern with all the people. Yeah, looks like a fun mystery to solve. We've seen several mysteries this week, so you could even chain those modules together, have a little Scooby-Doo mystery team going through and solving all the mysteries. Next we have Mass Combat from the KSM team. It It's a pay-what-you-want price of $2.95 for 18 pages. Have you faced the problem of conducting massive battles in 5th edition? Maybe now you have decided for the first time that you need it, because there's a really big battle coming up in your story. Or have you always wanted to add a war game element to your favorite campaign? This is a massive battle system that simply but elegantly solves these problems. So we've got another option here if you're trying to do some mass battles. And let's take a look inside. And you got kind of all of your details on the squads, it looks like, and kind of some unit stats, it looks like. Maybe they're, if you think of them maybe like swarms, you know how you have a swarm monster that represents multiple monsters, but it's got one stat block. It looks like they might be doing that with some little groups to make the fighting easier to manage here. So let's take a look up here. In short, we propose to unite combat units into squads of 20 to 100 individuals, designating such a squad with one token or figure. Each squad has a card with a description of its characteristics, active and passive abilities, and players opposing the master or each other take turns moving squads across the battlefield and interacting with them. So this would be a way for even the players to use the squads. So I was right, it's kind of like a little squad stat block, which is nice. So yeah, a very different option is pay what you want. So I think it's worth taking a look at if you're considering some mass combat in your game. Look for mass combat down below. Next we have Mindphlayers and Metaphysicians, 2nd edition from Ricardo Paraca. It's 50 pages. And it says it's a guide for adventurers using the 5th edition, in which player characters explore ruins of ancient civilizations, sneak into secret libraries of powerful empires, and even enter portals to other planes of existence. It's got tips on how to add philosophical themes to D&D campaigns, details about philosophers of all races, classes, and backgrounds, rules for philosophizing and the applications of philosophy, descriptions of the interactions between magic and philosophy, new magic items, including a true philosopher's stone, descriptions of monstrous philosophers, including new monsters, philosopher NPCs, and details about the enemies of philosophy, descriptions of the schools and philosophers of Theros. So really interesting stuff, and it sounds like it's got both player and DM content. I really wish there was some sort of preview, so if you're watching this, Ricardo, maybe add one if you can, even if it's just a select preview. You can choose, you know, even a range of 8 pages or something in the middle of the book if you want. They give you a lot of options for that, or include some pictures of a couple pages. Even the table of contents I think would help people, but it sounds like there's a lot on offer, and if you're a fan of philosophy, this probably will speak to you. So check it out under Mindflayers down below. Next we have Off the Books. It's time for the stories to tell themselves, a level 5 adventure for 3 to 6 players by Dana Floberg, $4.99 for 18 pages. It's already got a 5-star rating. A magical mishap occurs when a handful of freshman enchantment students cast a modified version of the Awaken spell on a fantasy epic in the university library, and now characters are leaping off the page, literally, as heroes, villains, and damsels come to life. The librarians need someone to restore narrative order to the unruly tales. But as the lines between fiction and reality blur, some of the characters begin to suspect their stories are cages they'd rather not return to at all. So it's a one-shot adventure, and what I really like about it is that it's unique. You know, it's got these characters coming to life from the books, but there's students, there's a university, and you know, Strixhaven's coming out in November, I think it is. So from Wizards, so this could fit real nicely with that. Let's take a look at inside here. So you got your 3 chapters of the adventure, and then you got fiction points, magic items, enemy stats, maps. You get to see 6 of the 18 pages, and some fun pictures of the library and some creatures here. So it says here in the flavor text, stepping into the space feels like stepping out of time. Vivid oil paintings of literary scenes line the walls, illuminated by filtered sunshine from the glass skylight overhead. The musty warm scents of vellum and paper curl around you. Across the room stands an imposing bronze gate, and an ancient elven woman sits at a large desk, glaring at you over the top of a book she's reading. Perched on the desk, a round orange cat periodically swipes his tail in front of the pages, and she bats it away irritably. So fun little flavor, get you going, making you feel like you're there. You know, this could also work with Candlekeep Mysteries, because there's some books involved. You could adapt it for that. So I think this title has a lot of options with Strixhaven, Candlekeep Mysteries, and more. So check it out under Off the Books down below. Pirate Wars is our next title from Stanislav Zabian, $14.99. It's an adventure for a party of 3 to 6 adventurers of levels 1 to 8. It's about pirates and swashbucklers and the desire for freedom and bravery. It says Captain Mandracore approaches the wheel and peers into the distance. Ahead lies the city in which he grew up, where he found love, and the city in which he lost it. And the culprit of all the misfortunes of him and his people is there, the one who brought suffering in his life. Give the signal, we begin, says the captain. On all ships, sailors begin to actively raise flags. Smoke appeared from the direction of the jungle. The assault has begun. They have been preparing for so long. This is their moment. Will they have enough courage? Will they have enough strength? So you get 18 new pirate-themed NPCs and monsters, separate battle maps, and high-quality versions. And you can see some nice layout and art already in just these screen captures here. But let's look inside. Get a nice little hex map. Random encounters. Outline. Very cool. Pirate attack. Yeah, so if you're looking for some pirate stuff, this could be a good option. It says the Pirate Isles are 15 islands that lie in the central part of the inner sea south of Dragonreach in the world of Faerun. And this is where this adventure takes place. Okay, so you have some options. If you're looking for, you could probably place these isles anywhere though if you need to, or put it on a different island. And you got some random encounters here. Always useful to have a table like that. And then the outline is helpful, get you kind of set up. And cool little maps in here. Got a trap, I see, statue room. And if you move this statue, it opens a passage. So yeah, some fun stuff going on with these pirates. So check it out under Pirate Wars in the links below. Next we have The Pursuits of 𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙀 by Shane Hitching. A devouring level 3 to 5 one-shot adventure for the world's greatest role-playing game. Multiple file formats. So pay what you want price of $1.39. Suggested 18 pages. Quiet village life has been disrupted by a spate of random kidnappings, and the once friendly monks are doing it. Your brave party of adventurers will battle monks and delve into a cave to track down the nefarious culprit before freeing the remaining villagers. So the setting neutral short adventure can be run as a one-shot or function as a side quest in a longer adventure. It is also very suitable as a hook for an expedition into the Underdark. Okay, so that's nice. Yeah, so it gives you an option to lead into the Underdark. And it's interesting that the monks are the problem here. Maybe it could be a good conflict if you have a monk in your party. Maybe make them seem like they're going to be on the monk's side, and then they have that dilemma of do they help the monks or stop them. So got a synopsis, adventure hooks, all the typical stuff. You got your map, and you got your stat blocks for your monks. So let's read one of the flavor texts here. A small plump woman whose tidiness and dress matches that of the shop steps out from the room behind a clean wooden counter. She wipes flour from her hands on a gingham towel before using the other side of the towel to wipe her eyes. Hello there. Well, aren't you lot a sight for sore eyes? You are here for the monks, I take it. She looks at you expectantly. So I need some help in this village with these monks that are out of control, and it's pretty low price to get this module, so check it out under Pursuits of 𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙀 below. And then next we have Sports Ball from Dungeon Master's Workshop. Throw a Hail Mary and rush the goal in this sporting minigame. So it's $3.50 for 3 pages. it's just a mini game for the 5th edition, and I think that's really cool. You can always use mini games. It says place your bets and lace up your boots as you not only secure odds with the local bet maker, but also simulate the beautiful game of sports ball with your party. With a little luck, a bit of head-to-head strategy, and perhaps a bold play to win the game, you could find the party leaving with a little extra gold and a new favorite sporting team to root for. It's fully illustrated, contains everything you need, and you can download it and get started, it says. So let's take a look. So you get to see 2 of the 3 pages, so it doesn't give you everything on the preview, understandably. But you've got your notable sports ball teams. And what is sports ball? So we'll read that. Sports ball is a game played by 2 opposing teams that must attempt to transport a leather ball from one end of the pitch to the other in order to score points. Each team has 10 players, although only 5 are on the field at any one time. 5 players that specialize in running the ball towards their opponents are known as the offensive squad, and the 5 that are better suited to stopping the other team's advance are the defensive squad. The game takes place over 4 quarters, each lasting roughly 15 minutes, and the winner is the team with the most points at the end of the game. So it's basically football, and they've just kind of repackaged it so it fits within the fantasy setting, which is nice. And they've given you some fantasy teams like the Avalon Mountain Anvils, a team of dwarves hailing from the sovereign principality of Vorstadt in the Avalon Mountains. Their offense is fair, but they are renowned for their impenetrable defense. So it's cool. You can have football in your game. Maybe you have some players that in your campaign that also like football, so this would be a way to tie it in. Maybe they're constantly checking the scores on their phone, or something instead of paying attention. So you could say, well, let's put some football in the game, and maybe they'll get a little bit more engaged. So you can always use more mini games and things like this. You can have just kind of at the ready. Maybe you need a mini game to fill time. Maybe one of your players is late, or they're not going to make it, and so you don't really want to advance the main story, so you have the players that are there get involved in a mini game, and then they come back the next week and they go, you guys played football and I missed it. So check it out under sports ball in the links below. Next we have the wishing cake with this gorgeous cover art. It says a birthday party themed one shot for D&D. It's $2 suggested price on pay what you want from Cheesecake DM. And it says, is it you or a player's birthday? Want a fun birthday themed one shot to play? You and your group are celebrating a friend of yours' birthday, and then suddenly an evil wizard known as Sepulchral steals the cake just before the candles blow out, and now you are trapped in his prison. Will you get back in time with your special birthday wish? So it's a one shot for level 3 characters. And this jumped out at me because I thought, it's nice that there's something birthday themed, because maybe somebody's been wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons for their birthday, or you want to celebrate somebody in your group's birthday with a special adventure. And I'm sure you could probably tailor this one shot, maybe throw in some Easter eggs related to that person, whether it's naming some of the NPCs after their real life names, or within reason, maybe just celebrating that person. Maybe they've been in your play group at your table for a long time, and you could get this little adventure with a pay what you want price, to just kind of say, hey, we're going to celebrate you today. And it's 4 pages, so let's take a look at the interiors. And again, I love that cover. So you've got your intro, and you've got your so it looks like some mimics you'll be dealing with, so that's fun. It's very, very short little adventure, but I'm sure you can lead into something else if you want with it. We've got some items in here, birthday gifts maybe. So and you could even have maybe have a character have a birthday. It's not done often, but that could be a fun thing. So says the players have been invited to celebrate a birthday with their friend. However, just when they're about to blow out the candles, the evil wizard known as Sepulchral, who hates birthdays because he never got one himself, tries to steal their birthday cake and make a wish for himself. It is up to the players to get it back. So yeah, you could even have like that NPC be the real named person if you think they'll be comfortable with it. Don't upset anybody with this. So yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. You got a pinata guard, birthday cult room, your cake, and mimics, and all these little cool little items, including exploding pinata, wooden dog, storybook. So I think you get something out of this, especially with the pay what you want price. And that's the last title for this week, so please follow me at Splinterverse on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel. Consider purchasing Potions Unlocked or Van Richten's Librum of Lineages. They're linked below as well. Those are titles from me. Keep an eye out. Feywild book is coming from me in September, and a dragon book in October. So lots of good stuff coming your way to tie in with the Wizards releases. I cannot wait for you to see what we have planned. It is blowing my mind. Such great stuff, and tremendous artwork, like all of the titles I release. And yeah, so you gotta stay tuned for that. Please share the video out there, help these creators, click those links below to support them, buy their books. And again, if you buy anything by clicking those links, it's going to support the channel as well, so that really helps a lot. And as always, I appreciate you watching and being a part of the fun. And until next time, happy adventuring.